All right, dudes and dudettes. This is a response to Amelia's question on to translate this site that says Backdoor and Captcha plugin affects 300,000 people on WordPress. So let's go over to that article and we'll talk about what that means. So WordFence is the site that this is referring to. WordFence is like a security plugin, but generally they talk about just all kinds of issues that can affect anyone with WordPress. So if you don't have a WordFence on your blog, that doesn't mean that this information is not helpful to you. This article is talking about a specific plugin called Captcha. It's just Captcha. There's nothing else in the name. And the plugin page looks like this. So if you've seen this, now I'll get to this a little bit later, but the creator of the plugin is actually significant to answer what this means. So as you scroll through the article, it says a couple of different things. First of all, it says that the Captcha plugin was taken down because of a trademark issue, because WordPress is in the title of the owner of the company who now owns this Captcha plugin. But what's really significant and important about this article is the fact that WordFence said, and they investigated and found this line of code within the Captcha plugin that basically overwrites code. So once you install the Captcha plugin, it overwrites a new piece of code that will automatically update your version to a new version without your permission. So you don't go in there and click update, it just does it for you. And when it does that, what it actually does is basically allow someone to remotely access your site or get admin access to your site without your permission, which is a little scary in and of itself, right? Because you don't want the admin of whoever owns this free plugin to have access to your site. And it's a little bit vague, but it also makes that like it could make it really susceptible to hackers to have admin access. But what's significant is you go a little bit further and the rabbit hole gets deeper. It's almost like a true crime story or something like that, like Law and Order, just not as few as like a Law and Order WordPress. And apparently the person who bought the plugin, the Simply WordPress plugin, they bought it from Best Web, which actually does have a legitimate Captcha plugin, owns a company called Sousa Internet Marketers. And where the story gets really weird is this company has been known for producing plugins that essentially will overtake your admin access and then install lots of backlinks to their scammy websites and cloak them all. So essentially they're building backlinks on websites who have these free plugins to promote their SEO. It's the weirdest insane way ever to build backlinks and build SEO, but that's exactly what they're doing. So basically the translation is if you had the plain old Captcha plugin right here, and you had it since the 4th of December or before, they have potentially had the ability to overwrite its code and give them access to, do whatever they want to on your site. So that's it in the gist. What can you do? You can uninstall the Captcha plugin immediately. The developer of the plugin is not someone that you should trust. Just make sure you're avoiding things that they do. Pay attention when software updates, if the developers change, just kind of keep your eye attuned to that so you can make sure you're only installing plugins that have good developers. And then, of course, WordFence recommends that you install WordFence because they keep up with this sort of things. And that's actually not a terrible idea, is to have a security tool installed. So in summary, if you have the regular old Captcha plugin, get rid of it, get a new one, and be very aware that these free plugins potentially could be putting backdoors to do malicious things on your site. And that doesn't mean not to use free plugins. Just make sure you know what you're getting into and the ones that you're using are legitimate and trusted. And so if you ever have any questions about that, feel free to post in the group, and I'm happy to look into it, and others can look in it to tell you their experience. So in a nutshell, that is your translation.